All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga Flow and Meditation with Mindful Michael. So we're going to get started here in a minute. And welcome in. We're just going to set up for our class. So today we are going to be a little chiller and vibe. We're going to work on opening the neck and shoulders when we get into it here in a little bit. But yeah. So I'm joining you here from New York City, and I'm enjoying the gorgeous weather here. We're about to get some rain. So the way I work with yoga is I'm very aware of our immediate environment. I'm very aware of our weather. So when we start to get into this new season, Ayurvedic season, we're moving from Kapha, which is about being focused on stability and strength, and we need to get our bodies moving. We're moving into Vata season, which is about springtime, about having warmth in the body, fluidity, balance, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just double check, make sure that I've got. Great. So things that I have nearby, I'm going to grab 2 blocks for myself here in a minute. And I do have a blanket with me for a little extra padding. We're going to stay pretty low to the floor today. We'll do a little bit of balancing, just a little bit of teetering and tottering, but mostly we're just getting the energy to lengthen. So Vata is spring, and it's represented by the wind. It's when our bodies have thawed out and they're more pliable, and it tends to bend and grow and twist and stretch. So we'll be doing a lot of side body opening up, so twisting. If you are breathing for 2, and it's not just you in there, I want you to be aware of when we are twisting. So when we're twisting and we have a limb close to us, if we're twisting towards that limb, that would be called a closed twist. So if I'm breathing for 2, that's not a nice space for the other person breathing. So I want to stay nice and open. I'll leave it with an open twist. So I'll tell you when we're taking a closed twist and when we're taking an open twist. If you are somebody who's not mindful for a closed twist, leave it out. Another thing is if you eat a big meal in the last little bit, that's in consider as well. I always want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and do not miss good things. So we're going to give another couple minutes before we get started. Let me get my music on. Let's get my music set up, shall we? Royalty, please. Excellent. All right. So we'll just give it a few more minutes. So if you're watching later, obviously you fast forward it by now, I hope. Something to consider is Vata energy struggles to find grounding. When you are oriented towards springtime and wind and fast motion, I think of like the spreading of seeds across fields, across landscapes, the cultivation of our world as wind currents and tides shift. That's very much what Vata is about, that movement. So this is an opportunity we don't need as much heat to get as much done. It's nice. It means that now we get to kind of thaw out. So I know that, so I also know that if you're in Arizona, so I'm here in New York and it's bearable, but I'm no stranger to the Arizona heat. So I know your body's really ready to release. We are gonna, when we do twists, twists are thought to be heating. I consider them cooling, and the reason why you feel like they're heating is because they trigger the sweat response. The audio is a little bit hard to hear. Okay, I can talk louder at the very least, and I'll be bringing you closer in. But let me, actually I'm going to turn off my fan. That might be covering up some of the noise as well. And then it's almost noon your time, so we'll get into that in just a minute. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for that. So for little tips, making sure that you can hear me. So let's give it another minute or 2 before we get started, actually. And then we'll get flowing. We're going to start seated, and we're going to do a couple neck and shoulder stretches before we get into it.
Got it. Cool. Good. Excellent. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get moving into this. So first things first, we're going to take 3 solid breaths together. So I want you to introduce the tension where when we bring in the tension, realize that we're activating the muscles in order to relax them. So we'll take 3 breaths. You're rolling the shoulders up by the ears. Big inhale. Exhale, letting it soften. 2 more of those. Big breath in. Softening that out. Bringing in the tension. Last one. Big breath in. Exhale, letting it all be easy. So from here, we're going to take the hands like we're holding a big beach ball in front of the heart, and we're interlacing them. So you're drawing the shoulders back and down, pressing the shoulders down into the shoulder socket. My heart is so proud and lifted. From here, I'm going to draw my belly button into my spine as I exhale. I'm making a big curve through my back here, like I've been punched in the gut, but I'm lengthening out through the back of my head as I go. And then I'm starting to inflate the beach ball, pulling the arms apart from each other. You let the shoulder blades slide away from each other. It creates space between the shoulder blade and spine, letting us pull apart. It's like the ball is inflating. And feel how you create this space. The shoulders can relax down. So we're activating all of this whole trap area, everything down, even through the middle trap. You might start to move side to side just that little bit, noticing how you can move the stretch to different parts of the back of the body, noticing that if you're long behind the neck, it will release and leave. So letting things come back to center, you might let the hands start to drift down towards the lap. Feel how that moves the stretch to different places, down the spine. Letting the hands release to the knees. Inhale, shoulders up by the ears. Sit tall in the spine. As you exhale, let it all settle down. Feel stabilized. So from here, we're going to take our hands. So I'm seated on a bolster right now. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to slide it underneath my sits bone. So I'm now sitting on the hand. I draw the shoulder back and down, and from here I'm going to take my left ear towards the left shoulder, and I'm going to lean away. So the further I sit onto my hand, the more of a stretch I get, but that little lean away creates length all the way down the side of my trap here. And as long as I focus on softening across the eyes and the forehead, it will all drain out and I'll get the space that I'm looking for. You'll let the chin fall down towards the chest through center, and you release the hand out from underneath. You're going to switch sides, placing the right hand or left hand underneath the hip. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulder back and down. Let left ear fall towards left shoulder. Nice and chill as you go. Or right ear towards right shoulder. I think I said that wrong. Noticing if the jaw can release, let it all drain down. Softening through the space across the eyes. Notice how I feel this. I feel this all the way through my scalp. So notice how you can soften across here and let the energy go. From here, chin will fall towards chest. Release the hand out from underneath the hip. Let's take our final stretches on either side for the shoulders. So you're going to take your right arm out to the side, flip the palm to face the ceiling. So notice how the shoulder goes back and down. It really plugs into the back of the socket right here in the lap. From here, I'm tracing my pinky finger. It's coming towards the front here, and once my hand gets in front of my shoulder, left ear falls towards left shoulder. So from here, still plugging that back and down, you'll feel the length you're getting here. Once that hand starts to cross the midline of the body, you're really getting into the stretch, so be mindful as you go. I can feel this all the way across right above my eyebrow here. It feels nice. Soft and easy. Letting hand and jaw draw down towards the earth. Come up through center, we'll take the other side of that. Left arm out to the side, flip the palm to face the ceiling, shoulder back and down. Bringing the pinky finger across. From here, let the right ear fall towards right shoulder, plugging the shoulder back and down. Pinky finger starts to cross the midline of the body, right across the heart. That brings the stretch in a little deeper. So I feel this all the way down through the jaw too. Being easy as I go. As I exhale, let the chin fall down towards the chest, hand towards the lap, bringing up through center, shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, letting it all settle down the spine, neck and head all released and stretched out. So let's get into the waist for a moment. So I'm going to angle this down so you can kind of see my hips a little bit better. From here, I'm taking the hands up high overhead, big inhale in. As I exhale, I'm taking my right hand behind my hip, left hand towards my knee. So I'm twisting over mindfully towards that right side. My inhale goes for the tall spine. My exhale deepens the twist. Belly button goes into spine. It's like you're wringing out the rag. Hi, y'all. Welcome in. So we're just getting started, releasing upper body, releasing the waist. Inhale, coming up nice and tall through center. As you exhale, twist over to the left. Left hand by the knee, or left hand behind the hip, right hand by the knee, twisting over the left shoulder. Inhale for the tall spine. Exhale, deepening the twist, belly button to the spine, wringing things out. So for those of you who are just joining me, welcome to Slow Flow and Meditation with Mindful Michael, or Michael Clement as I'm known. Let yourself come back to center. Inhale, hands come up high overhead. From here, just a nice cactus. Think of behind the shoulder blades punching upwards through the heart. It opens wide and palms wide and elbow. Relax the jaw, lifting tall. Take a big breath wide. As you exhale, gently release. So yeah, I'm joining you from New York City, and I'm a yoga and meditation instructor for those of you who don't know me. So we are taking a chill vibe today. We are talking about how the weather is changing for the majority of the country now, and we have moved out of that stiffness, the stability, the stillness of winter, and now we are in the fast-moving energies of summer. So you don't have to fight so hard to get heat for your practice, and we're going to enjoy that very fact today. So now that we've opened up our neck and shoulders, we're going to come to our mat to begin our practice. We're going to start in child's pose. So knees are wide, toes are touching. I'm going to set up my camera a little further away so you can see me, and I'll meet you there. So when you're stepping into your practice, it's all about setting your intention. And chances are, today, that fast-moving springtime Vata energy, for those of you who are familiar with Ayurvedic, anything, it's easy to lose your grounding and get carried away with yourself. So a day where you get out of bed and stub your toes snowballs so fast. And in that, it's crucial that you are conscious about when you're picking up momentum with intention and when you're not. So my knees are nice and wide, my toes are touching, I'm walking my torso long, big breath in as I go, and I exhale, softening towards the earth. Breathing into the heart space right between the shoulder blades. Exhale, letting it all empty out. Final inhale in here. Melting in all directions, let yourself soften, easy. With an inhale, walk your hands over to the right side edge of your mat. Left hip nice and heavy as you go. Big breath in. Full exhale out. From here, inhale, walk through center over to the left side. Just notice how much space you already have as you're working. As you exhale, soften in through the hips. Let it be easy as you work. Taking another inhale. Full release. Inhale, walk yourself back to center and soften. And on an inhale, we'll come on up to hands and knees. So release hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, sink the belly low for cat and cow. Exhale, press the hands, belly button into the spine, lengthen the back. Let your own breath pace decide how you work here. Just opening the spine as we work. Let me just make sure I see a comment. Oh, Lord, it's nice and it's that early in the morning there. I'm joining from all over. I love it. All over the globe for yoga. When you're ready, get into the side body, moving like a jump rope, scooping the rib cage around. Feeling how you start to open up any sticky places. If you've got a sticky spot, pause and breathe. Your breath carves out the territory and lets it all move out the body. Letting things be chill as you go. You can switch directions when it's ready. Up to you as you work. And you might even go free form when it feels good. This is all about warming up and getting movement in the spine. The spine needs all of that fluidity. Noticing if you're holding in the face or the jaw, or if you have too much tension happening in the hands. Full palm into the earth, pressing, let the energy leave the fingertips, out the toes, out the top of the head. And when it feels good, let yourself find some stillness. So maybe let things peter out, and feel that flat back, drawing up through the core, lengthening out in all directions. Big inhale, tuck the toes. As you exhale, you're gonna lift the hips up and back into your down dog. So pedaling out through your feet. Enjoy sitting into one hip versus the other, treading out, letting the calves open slowly, nice and simple. Big inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, let everything soften down. Maybe you have a bend in the knees. So down dog today. I always have a little bend in my knees, and I'm pressing the earth away overhead, sending that energy out my sits bones to the corner of the ceiling and the wall behind me. using that breath. I'm okay with where I am. So if I need to bend, it only helps me access the stretch in a place where it truly belongs. From here, big inhale into the hamstrings. Exhale, softening the heels. Good. From here, bend the knees, lower them back down to your hands and knees position. So from here, all we're going to do is untuck the toes. You're going to inhale, pick up the left hand up towards the sky, opening for the twist. As you exhale, you're threading the arm underneath the right armpit. Back of the left shoulder places down on the earth. So notice my hips want to send over to the side here. I'm working on keeping the stretch inside the hips, so the hip, or inside the torso, so the hips stay centered over the feet as much as possible. From here, I'm resting the side of my head down. I might crawl my right fingertips up towards the front of my mat and make a little tent with my palm like so. I'm pressing the fingertips down into the earth, drawing the shoulder back and down, and I'm using my breath to open out underneath my lat, underneath my shoulder and arm. Exhales melt. Gently bring the right hand back in towards the face. Press into the earth, left hand comes up, big inhale, open. As you exhale, plant the hand down, take the other side, big inhale, left, right arm up. Thread underneath, back of the shoulder onto the earth, side of the face onto the ground. Make sure hips stay over the feet. Crawl the left fingertips towards the front of the mat. You're tenting the palms, reaching the top of the hand forward. You're drawing the shoulder back and down on that left side. Big breath in, opening up underneath the lats. Think of space underneath the wing. Think of it as one big bird wing, getting the chance to lengthen and open. So from here, you soften the palm, bring the left hand back towards the face. Press the left hand, right hand comes up, big inhale. As you exhale, back down to the earth. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Take your down dog. Pedal and settle. 3 breaths here. Inhale, up the hands into the hips. Exhale, down the backs of the legs. 2 more of those. Inhale, massaging the energy up out of the earth and getting it right back down. Last one, big inhale. Exhale, start to pedal out the feet. Take your time with this. You're walking the feet in towards the hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. Nice and slow. When you get there, hang in your forward fold. Your feet are hip width apart. You might bend in the knees a little, and you're going to hook the elbows and sway. Let yourself soften from between the shoulder blades all the way out the top of the neck, all the way out the top of the head, so everything drains. I'm going to move my camera a little further back so when I stand up, you'll be able to see a little. Looks good. So from here, we're soft and easy. You're going to bend in the knees, releasing any hold in the arms. You shake the head no. You nod the head yes. You roll it around maybe so. And from here, you'll bend in the knees, curl under in the pelvis, and slowly roll up. Take your time. Big breaths in, big breaths out. Feeling how your hips come underneath the base of support and your spine floats itself up. Shoulders up by the ears, big inhale. Exhale, let it settle down the spine. So from here, you might already be a little toasty. Feet are hip width apart. Sit it back, sweep it back. Take your chair pose. Squeeze the glutes. Zip up through the core. This is about the lift, pressing into the floor. As you exhale, take your forward fold, bow easy. Inhale for the halfway lift, nice and long. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. So from here, I want you to lower just down to the knees. So instead of doing our chaturanga today, we'll work a little different. From the plank, you lower into knees, hands and knees, make sure they're underneath hips and shoulders. You inhale, sink low. Exhale, press to your cat. Inhale, sink low, curl the toes under. Exhale, lift the hips up to your down dog. So from the down dog, you'll inhale, lift the heels, pressing the toes into the ground. Exhale, bend in the knees, the hips come down towards the heels. You'll inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky, straightening the legs as much as you can. And exhale, let the heels descend. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, let the heels sink. From here, you bend the knees, you lower down to hands and knees. Make sure your hands adjust so that you have the nice frame. Inhale, sink low to cow. Exhale, press to cat. Inhale, sink low to cow, curl the toes. Exhale, up and back to down dog. From here, big breath in. Full exhale out. You'll inhale, soften in the knees, gaze towards your hands. Step, hop, or float. Find your forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet are hip width apart, take your chair pose, sit it back, sweep it back, take the arms up overhead, squeeze the glutes, push the feet into the floor. Feel how that lifts out of the top of the head. As you exhale, come to stand. Nice and easy. From here, inhale, gather the energy up. As you exhale, swan dive, bend in the hips, bow over and in. Halfway lift, flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. It's about reaching nice and long, and right away we lower down the knees. Nice and chill, so we have that stability of the plank before we set ourselves up. Inhale, sink the belly low. Exhale, find the cat. Inhale, sink low to cow. Tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Find the down dog. From here, inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the heels up. Exhale, soften the heels down. Softening the knees down to the earth. From here, you're going to take the right heel up back behind you. So I'm reaching out of the glute, connecting from glute all the way through heel, and that foot is parallel and flexed. From here, I'm going to carry this out to the side. I'm placing the foot in line with the knee, and I'm coming up tall for gate pose. So this is about pressing down through the left knee, down into the earth, tracing the left hand up and over. Right hand crawls down the side of my leg, so you can have a nice little block here if you want to have it down on the earth to support this, but really it's up to you. So some have where the foot is parallel with the long edge of the mat, some have where it's turned out. That's yogi's choice. What do you need? No matter what you're doing, you're not collapsing down into this arm over here. You're still lifted up and over for support out of that right side. And you're peeling the left rib cage open to get a little sunlight on your face out from underneath that arm. From here, you're going to inhale, trace the sky, come on up tall. As you exhale, place the hand back down to the earth. You're going to take this leg back up behind you. And from here, you're going to place the right knee outside the left calf shin. So it's almost like you're in eagle pose in the legs. You're zipping all of that up, nice and strong through the hip. As you exhale, can you walk your heart a little bit towards the earth, walking your hands forward and taking a down dog feeling through the body, or a child's pose feeling down through the upper body. Zipping the inner thighs in up together. Feel how that actually gets you length out of your spine if you're willing to go there. Big breath in. As you exhale, walk yourself back up and into the hands and knees. You release the right leg up back behind you and take it on down to square. Inhale, tuck the toes, or not tuck the toes. Inhale, sink the belly low. As you exhale, find the cat. Inhale, sink the belly low. This time, tuck the toes. Exhale, hips up and back for the down dog. Inhale, lifting the heels. Exhale, bending the knees. Inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, heels sink down. Lower the knees down. From here, back on the hands and knees, take the left foot up and back, engaging the glute all the way out through the heel. Feel the strength of that. From here, you're carrying the leg out to the side and lowering it down so the foot is in line with the knee on the earth. You sit up nice and tall. So I make adjustment for furniture when needed. I crawl the left fingertips down the outside edge of the foot. Right is tracing up and over. So I'm pushing down into the earth to stabilize that lift. I create this nice over arc through my left side, and I'm even spinning the right side of my heart open to get a little bit more sun on my face out from underneath the arm. Feeling how that line goes on forever, how it's supported and lifted, not collapsed in. Inhale, tracing up through center. As you exhale, hands back down to the earth. Make your readjustments. You bring the left leg out back behind you and square off once more. So from here, you bend the knee in place, the left shin and calf outside of the right. It's zipped up like you're crossing your legs or like you're in eagle pose, which we will be hitting in a minute. From here, I might walk my hands forward to give myself a nice child's pose feeling from the waist up. Bowing down into the earth, rinsing out by hugging in and zipping up. It creates length out of the torso and lets you bow in. Nice and steady and easy as you go. Notice that it is a little unstable. That's okay. Walk the hands back into the heart, bring yourself on up, and gently take the left leg back to its own side. You're on hands and knees. Inhale, find the cow, sink the belly low. Exhale, find the cat. Inhale, sink low, curl the tail, or curl the toes. Take the hips up and back, find the down dog. You'll inhale, soften in the knees, gaze towards your hands, step, hop, or float to find your forward fold at the top of your mat. From here, bend in the knees, reverse swan dive. Inhale, gather the energy all the way up. As you exhale, let the hands come to heart center. Samastitihi, hands at mountain pose. So let me tilt just a little bit up so you can see me more. We're going to do a little bit of balancing work. Now that we're standing and now that we've arrived and we're here, feel that moment of letting your feet melt into the earth. I need the knees pliable, so let them be bent. Maybe take the hands on the hips. Feel how heavy and relaxed they can be into the ground. Tailbone drops, low abs up and engaged. It might make you go a little further back into your energy space than usual. Your weight might be a little bit more in the heels than normal. That's good. So from here, I want you to imagine 2 big pitchers of water, like when you're at the restaurant or like at Chili's or something, and they bring the big pitchers of water. Imagine that each leg is its own pitcher of water. And we're going to balance, which means you have to mindfully and slowly transfer that water from one pitcher into the other and take your time with it. We're pouring the weight from the right foot into the left. So follow the image in your mind, because if you rush the image of this, you will be weebly and wobbly when you get there, but if you go slow and you let the image of the pitcher finish pouring out, when the water's out of the pitcher, the foot will float right off the earth and you'll be ready to bring the knee right into the chest. So I'm pressing through my left foot and I'm standing nice and tall. I'm not struggling, like bending forward or worrying about the weight of this. I manage it all with my glutes. I fire up and kick into the earth. From here, we're going to move into Garuda, which means we sit back into chair pose and we cross the right leg over the left, taking that moment to zip in and up. So you might have hands at heart center. If you have a place to hold on to nearby, there's no shame in that. That's okay. I'm zipping in and up, and some might even be able to curl the foot around that standing calf. So we'll take a moment with hands in heart center while we're here. This is pretty active. Let yourself be okay with this work. As you exhale, can you collect? Bring the knee up towards the chest, stand tall, kick, 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 kick. That was so good. That's the hard part. From here, you're gonna release back to pyramid. So stepping back about 2 feet, my back foot is slightly turned out on the angle, about 45 degrees. My front leg is straight, and both feet are in line with their own hip. From here, I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips. My hips are square to the front. I'm lengthening and bowing my heart forward, and I'm coming to pyramid. I place my hands down on the earth, or I might grab 2 blocks here, pressing them down. Let this be strong. So I want my low back to be level. If you place your hand on your low back and you find one hip is higher, take your whole torso and either shift it forward in space or back. Let the hip level out for you. So I'm going to tilt things down so you can see a little bit more what my feet are doing. These New York studio apartments, they're not meant for landscape view. So from here, feel how you're pressing into that front foot to straighten the leg. Keep the length out of the waist, out of the back of the heart. From here, all we're going to do is walk our hands around, your feet turn to parallel, and you're in the wide forward fold. So you could go wider. If you want to toe heel out, I might move my blanket out of the way and take a wider stance. That's fine. But if not, no worries. That's fine. So from here, I'm in the wide forward fold and bowing in. I release the top of my head towards the earth. If you want, you might hook the elbows and give yourself a wider ragdoll. That feels nice always, and you have a little bit more space to go here. But otherwise, if you're fine without that, maybe you're crawling the fingertips to get yourself a little bit deeper into the fold. Yogi's choice here. Let this be about draining out. Feel the energy pouring out into the legs. From here, you're going to bend in the knees, turn the heels in towards each other. You're turning out in the legs. You're coming to find a nice, easy turned out position that lets you rest. You can place the forearms to rest on the inner thighs and encourage the hips to open. You might enjoy a subtle side to side. This is your chance to clean up shop and check in your alignment. Are your knees tracking over your toes? Are you in a comfortable width stance? So here's the deal. From here, we are coming up into goddess. This is the most active we'll get. You're pressing into the feet, squeeze the glutes. Come on up to stand tall. Hands are at heart center. So make sure the knees aren't falling in. You also want to make sure the tailbone is down. If you're jutted forward like this, you need to adjust your turnout. Be honest about what works for you. You're looking for a width where the knees stay virtually over the toes and ankles, not too far in or out. Activating these outer glutes to keep it fired. Press into the feet. Big inhale in. As you exhale, press yourself to stand tall. From here, you're going to take Warrior 2 facing the front of your mat. So the back foot spins to be parallel with the short edge. Front foot is parallel with long edge. Heel lines up with middle of the arch. Let yourself settle for a moment. Feel that strength, how you're almost relaxing into the kickstand of this back leg. Its stability lets you enjoy this. Firing up, make sure your knees right over the toes. Big inhale in. Exhale, can you deepen this just a little? You're going to flip the front palm. Inhale, give yourself a reverse warrior. As you exhale, cartwheel the hand down to the earth. You are framing the front foot, and you're in a nice lunge. The back heel released off. You're going to lower the back knee down, untuck the toe. Plant your right hand strong on the ground. Left hand comes to the top of the thigh. My inner thighs are zipping up. That makes me long out the waist, and I press into the top of the thigh to take a twist over to the left side. Big inhale at the top of the head. Exhale, deepening your twist. Feeling how this is all draining out that back foot, letting the toes be nice and relaxed, nice and easy as you go. From here, you gently release the twist. Hands are framing the front foot. Your back shin spins to be parallel with the short edge of your mat. Find yourself a nice Peter Pan stance, facing the right side. From here, straighten out that front leg. Take the right hand, place it at the back of the mat. Left hand traces the sky. Finding your stargazer, you let everything reach long, almost like your toes are lengthening down into the earth, almost like roots growing into the ground. That rootedness is opposed by the big reach out of the fingertips, like big branches. Big inhaling. Full exhaling. From here, you're going to walk yourself. Rebend that front knee. Take yourself around to the front of your mat and let yourself find a nice lunge. From the lunge, we'll take a plank, and you will take your first chaturanga through to an up dog into a down dog. If you'd rather just go to down dog, yogi's choice. But from the plank, we lower down, knees, chest and chin into the earth, grow out the top of the head, over the tops of the feet for your big upward dog. My hips are off the earth because I'm engaging my quads. As I exhale, I send into the down dog, pressing the earth away. Inhale, soften in the knees, gaze towards the hands. Step, hop, float, find the forward fold, now easy. Bend in the knees, gather, reverse swan dive all the way up, big inhale in. As you exhale, hands come to heart center, Samasthiti. Good, so we're going to take Garuda eagle pose on the other side. So we're taking the pitcher of water again, take a moment to shake out. You should already kind of feel an unraveling in some of the oppositional places in the body. We'll get the other side, you'll feel good. So pouring the weight into the right foot, take the time for that pitcher of water to empty out on the left side. When you do, and if you don't rush it, this foot will float right off the ground and be so manageable for you. Activate the glute, down through the heel, lift up tall. From here, cross the leg over for Garuda, so you're sitting back into chair pose, zipping everything in and up. So this hugging in should zip up the core and get length out of the waist. Maybe that lets you sit a little deeper into this. Steady in your breath and enjoy your wobble. That's okay. When you're ready, big inhale in. As you exhale, gather, take the knee to stand tall. From here, you're taking the left foot, set it back for pyramid. So it's about 2 feet back. It's really up to you on what's comfortable in the stance. Back foot is slightly turned out. Let yourself reach the heart forward and come to your pyramid pose, making sure hips are square, using blocks if you need. So if any leg is going to be bent in this, the front leg is bent and it's pushing towards straight. And if you don't have blocks around, use the bent knee. That's great, because otherwise you're going to stretch your back and your neck and it won't feel good. Trust. So letting yourself lengthen the ears away from the shoulders towards the front of the room. Feel how you lengthen your back towards the back of the room and exchange. From here, you're losing the blocks. You're walking yourself around to the wide forward fold at the back of, or facing the left side of your mat. So this time, we'll take the right hand, place it in front of the face on the earth. Inhale, peel the right hand open. You're going for a twist, opening to the left side. Rolling the heart wide across the chest. It reaches you open in the arm space. As you exhale, switch the hands. Let the hips switch to accommodate, peeling the right hand open. So instead of letting the shoulders ripple or roll forward in here, let them be nice and open and wide. As you exhale, let yourself take that one more time each side, peeling open on the left. I'm lengthening out of tail, out of crown. As I exhale, take the other side. Inhale as you peel open. Exhale. So from here, turn the heels and bend the knees. Take a moment for your goddess prep. I'm going to switch so that you're not just looking at my booty the whole time. So from here, we'll take the hands on the inner thigh so they're not on the knee joints. You can leave this out if this isn't for you. Getting length out of the waist. Maybe you rotate your left shoulder forward so you create that length out of the waist. And let yourself switch to the other side. being mindful here of what works for you. So, when you're ready, you're going to inhale, come to stand tall. I'll go back to facing the side that you're all on. So we're facing the left side of our mat. Our legs are straight. Take your back leg, turn it out to be parallel with the short edge of your mat. Front leg is parallel with the long. So take your warrior two. Hips still face side. Let yourself settle in. Relax into that kickstand. Final inhale in. Exhaling out. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse the warrior. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the earth. Release the back heel off the ground. Lower the knee down, untuck the toe. Left hand plants strong into the earth. So you're resting into the front of the hip. Right hand comes to the top of the thigh. This is all keeping the twist inside the hips and shoulders. So you press into the thigh to rotate the heart open, looking back behind you on that right side. So I'm growing out the top of my head and out the ends of my little toes back there, feeling how the lines of energy leave my body in those places. Gently release the hand back down to the earth. You're going to shift the hips. No, you're not. You're going to spin the back shin to be parallel with the short edge of your mat and come to Peter Pan, facing the left side of your mat. You lengthen out that front leg, extending the top of the foot into the earth. From here, left hand comes to the back of the mat. Find your stargazer, reaching up out of the right side body, pressing these left limbs into the ground to spread this line out. Feeling how the line continues out of fingertips, out of toe tips. So now to move into our next part of class, you're going to hinge in the hips, sit back towards your heels. You come to sit nice and chill. Look at that. That was easy. So from here, I'm going to actually move the camera closer. And you are coming to your back. When you get to your back, you're laying down, hugging the knees into the chest nice and tight, and drawing some circles. This is like a massage for the low back on the earth. This is grounding out all the energy. You just kicked up a lot of gunk up out of the bottom of your pond, so to speak. So this is a chance to let it all settle again. You might be nice and toasty and sweaty like I am. It's good. So twist naturally. Cross our wires and heat things up, but it's the energy releasing out of us. It just gets out through the sweat, through the heat we feel. Knees are in the chest, you're hugging, you're drawing circles. Being very easy with the work. Enjoying how this feels in the low back. Taking a moment to also sync back up with your breath. Feeling how the momentum of energy, that heat that we captivated and cultivated, letting yourself gently release. You're going to hang onto the right leg, extend the left leg out along the mat, dead through this limb, hugging everything nice and in close here. Start to roll out the ankle, crunch the toes. You're going to flex and point the foot. Just anything that releases, discharges. Fun thing to do when you're down on your own. Write the alphabet with your foot. Like go through A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. It's going to get very toasty. It's also going to do a lot of realigning of things that will feel very good when you're done. So from here, you're going to gently take this knee across the body, bring in the arm for the twist. I have a little goalpost arm here because it's nice for across my chest, but my shoulder is down on the earth. If my shoulder blade picks up off the ground, I've gone too far. I need to bring my twist in a little closer. It's about not overstraining the spine. You ground through the heart space. And as you're starting to quiet down your practice, it's good to pay attention to those little places that you hold tension in the jaw, in the eyes, all that. Let it go. Nice and easy. As you exhale, bring this back to center. And you're going to switch the legs. So bring the left leg in towards the chest. Right leg is extended and just dead weight soft there. Bringing everything in close, you're going to start to roll the ankle. You might crunch the toes. You might flex and point. What articulation feels good for you? The quick version would be to write your name really fast. And just knowing that it gets all toasty and warm and it's good. You might even get creaks and cracks as you go. It's kind of nice. From here, you're going to bring the knee across the chest for the twist. Your left arm stays nice at the goalpost. If it's better extended, go for it. Whatever keeps the shoulder blade grounded. So paying attention to what the spine is interested in. It doesn't take much to push the spine past its limits. but it does if you are calm and listening to the whole spine. At any point when you start to ignore the little subtle promptings it's telling you, and when you go too far and you regret it. When you're ready, come back to center. You're going to bend the knees, plant both feet flat on the floor, they're hip width apart. So my heels are as close to my glutes as I can get, and my shoulder blades, I'm going to move down a little, my shoulder blades are flat to the earth. That means my spine is long and my heart's really open, my hands are by my hips. Taking a big inhale that inflates my whole torso. As I exhale, I'm going to press my hips on up, creating this nice long line from shoulders all the way up through the tops of my thighs. Now my inner thighs are activated because a lot of people tend to flare open. You need to press down through both inner and outer edges of the feet. Activate the inner thighs, feel that reach, and when you're ready, you're going to gently lower down, give each piece of the spine its turn. So we're going to take that again in a moment. You're going to release the feet outside of hip width apart, flex the toes, windshield wiper side to side. Let this be about releasing the hips and the spine. So this time when we go up to the bridge, we're going into, that was like glute bridge via like your usual sort of calisthenic workout. This will be yoga bridge. So bring things back into hip width apart, the heels nice and close. This time when you're coming up, you're going to push the feet not only into the earth, but a little bit towards the back of the room. It's going to bring the heart forward. You're long and soft behind the neck as you go. If you have issues with the cervical spine, you are chill and you are just going with that first bridge we did. But if not, let's try it out. There's no pressure on the back of the neck here, but sometimes people do it wrong. So shoulders are on the shoulder blades are flat to the earth, heels are close, big inhale in. As you exhale, press the feet to lift the hips, and then notice that maybe I push my feet in towards the front of the room. It opens the heart space towards my face. I'm long and relaxed behind the neck. I might even bring my hands to interlace underneath my low back. All of that activating lets me open the heart nice and big. Then when I've had enough, I might gently release and gently lower down. Each bit of my spine gets its turn, every bit enjoying it. When the hips get to the earth, release the knees into the chest, grab a hold of the outside edges of the feet for happy baby, always a favorite. And start to notice what your body's asking for any final poses. Take your time with allowing an answer to come to you. When you get this far into a yoga practice, the body is asking for what it wants. Or did you practice getting quiet enough to hear it? Nice and soft as we move. Letting things be easy. So I'm going to give you a few more moments to take those final poses, and we're going to set up for our meditation. So it will probably be about a 10-minute meditation, maybe not even that. So we are going to be dropping into the body as we move into Shavasana. If you would like for yourself you might like full Shavasana, which is corpse pose, just laying on the earth, or you might like being in what's called Supta Baddha Konasana, which is legs in butterfly, laying on the earth. You might like making a little box with your arms over your head. That'll help open the shoulders. But I am going to lead you through meditation from a seated position instead. So what we're doing today will be a simple dropping in the body, relaxing the senses, relaxing the mind, and then we'll be doing a type of meditation that gets you aware of the opposites present in your body. So this is a step in what's called Yoga Nidra, which is a very long, deep meditation that is very rejuvenating. If you're ever interested in going there with me, you let me know. But Yoga Nidra is called sleep of the yogi. So we are moving into many different layers of the body and the mind when we go through Yoga Nidra. And this is, the layer that we'll do is what takes you deep into what's called the feeling body. It's really a beautiful thing. So I'll bring you a little closer, and I'll invite you to move into your Shavasana or pose of choice. And knowing that what you start out with does not ever have to be what you finish with. There are no rules. Shavasana is about relaxing your body, about letting all the kicked up dust settle again. So as you're laying on your mat, take that moment to feel that settling. Notice your body's resistance to the mat, and with your next exhale, can you melt and surrender all of your weight into the floor, trusting. Feeling the delicious inhales as they spill and raise your body, and feeling how the exhales melts you and double your body weight into the mat. Feeling the rise, the receiving of your inhales, the melting of your exhales. Perhaps you invite your eyes to close, if they haven't already, and begin to notice. Start noticing the sounds around you. Notice the sounds coming from your present environment. Notice the sounds coming from your speakers or from your headphones. Maybe even you notice the sounds coming from you. Maybe you can even hear your own breathing, your own heartbeat. And notice how the mind quickly labels sound as you hear it, giving it a name, an identity. And instead, as you're hearing all of the sound, as you're taking all of it in, can you simply identify it as sound? Like a song that you're hearing for the very first time. Notice the ear and its tendency to reach out for the sound, and instead allow the sound to come to you. Feel that softening inside the ears as it drips heavy down the sides of the neck. Feel the softening across the throat, the collarbones, the center of the chest. Feel how the heart space widens as the shoulders get heavy. The neck relaxes long. Feeling how you soften across the jaw, the face, the eyes. Softening the cheekbones, the temples. Softening the hairline, the scalp. Softening down the back of the neck, down through the spine, between the shoulder blades, behind the shoulder blades. Relaxing around the shoulder blades. Relaxation dripping in through the shoulders, washing down the arms, the elbows, the forearms softening, wrists softening, the heels of the hands, the bones of the hands, the backs of the hands and fingers, the space between the fingers and out the fingernails, relaxation flowing. Relaxing through the torso, feeling all the space between the ribs, all the muscles going slack. Relaxing down through the low back and pelvis, feeling the hips fill. Feeling how the muscles that hold on to the legs start to soften. Feel how like floodgates opening. Relaxation washes down the legs, the thighs, inside, outside, in front, and behind. Tension washing through the knees, down the shins, down the calves, out through the ankles, through the bottoms of the feet, and the tips of the toes. And in this state, resting on your mat, the whole body breathing. Tension free from the body. Begin to notice the denseness of the body, how compact it is. The bones collected together, thick and strong. Bones that, if broken, grow back stronger than before. bones that are stronger than concrete to begin with. Feeling how close the bones are together, how tightly packed the muscles are. Feel the mass and density of your body, the weight of your body on the earth. This is the sensation and feeling of density, of weight, of solid, of heaviness. And now start to feel the space between each bone, the space in the joints, how light the body feels, how open and expressive it is, bringing in the sensation of lightness, of openness, of expansion. Feel how the breath in the body seems to lift you. Openness, lightness, expansion. Now bringing in the energy of density, feeling how close and compact everything is, how heavy you are on the mat, how present you are, how solid. Energy of density, heaviness. Feeling the breath in the body and how it returns you to that energy of lightness and expansion, feeling the space and openness. Allowing the journey back into that density, holding the heaviness in your mind, the compactness, lightness, expansion, space, density, heaviness, groundedness. And now can you hold both lightness and heaviness? Can you feel how these two sensations are the same in that they are sensation? They are awareness. Nothing has changed but your perspective. Feeling yourself as capable of more than just one thing. Feel this openness and allow yourself to be here for a few more moments. This space is your Shavasana. I'll mind the time and bring you back soon. But for now, breathe and be. And gently deepening your next inhale. Consciously and cautiously bringing yourself back into the space. Becoming aware once more of the walls around you, the ceiling above you, and the floor rising up to meet you, to hold you and support you. And inviting movement back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, letting that grow into circles in the wrists and ankles, and the next thing you know, you're giving a big stretch in all directions and putting your human suit back on. Feeling the edges of your skin coming back into focus. Make your way to a fetal position, laying on either side. You can cradle the head with the lower arm. And taking a moment, you might even place your other hand on your heart, touching in, and noticing how you feel now versus when you first came into your practice. And I want you to thank yourself for every bit of that feeling because it takes you showing up and doing the work. Y'all, I want to thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. Thanks for meeting me right in the middle of it all. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about me, you can check me out on Instagram at MindfulMichael. I'm also here on YouTube, but there isn't any content that's recent. So you can come join me over on Instagram. It's a really good time, and you should check out your weekly horoscope. Comes out later today. And if you want to know more about Breakout Studios, make sure you're taking all the great classes here because there's some wonderful, beautiful souls and beautiful instructors, and it's a great time. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Michael, also known as Mindful Michael, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. You are light, you are love, and you are meant to be here. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Thanks again. See you soon.